What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City daily transfer update. Before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. Remember, doing daily Manchester City transfer updates for you guys to enjoy here on YouTube. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. And also don't forget as well to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the ins, changing it up a little bit, why not? We've got the very latest on Pedro Neto. Now, Ben Jacobs did say that Manchester City did make a late approach to Pedro Neto to try and sign him from Wolverhampton Wanderers, who were trying to hijack that deal between Pedro Neto, Wolves and Chelsea. However, he'd already made up his mind. He wanted to join Chelsea. He has since joined and signed for Chelsea. So that's all done and dusted, and Pedro Neto will not be a Manchester City player. So that's done and dusted. Scratch the name off the list. Now, moving on, I am hearing some hearsay about Ivan Toney, so I just wanted to mention it very briefly in this video. Now, there's been no official reports or sources coming in from any articles or anything dotted around anywhere. There's just some murmurs, some rumours, some hearsay knocking around that Manchester City are potentially interested in signing Ivan Toney. So I just wanted to address the situation and say that in terms of official reporting and sources, there's nothing that I've heard in terms of Ivan Toney, and at the moment it's Saudi Arabia that's showing the most interest in potentially signing Ivan Toney from Brentford between now and the end of the transfer window. If that does change, of course, I will keep you guys up to date. I did tweet out a couple of weeks ago about if I was just thinking of players off top of my head in Man City replacing Julian Alvarez, if you want an out-and-out striker, Ivan Toney would be a good go-to, but I can't imagine there'd be any striker out there, certainly not a Premier League striker, a striker as good as Ivan Toney that would be willing to basically sit on Man City's bench and play second fiddle to Erling Haaland. So I just don't see that happening. So moving on, we're going to move on to the outs as we've got no contract news. Takes us on to an update on Kian Breckin. Now, Peter O'Rourke has said that Kian Breckin has agreed to join Crewe Alexandra on loan for the season, which I think would be a brilliant signing for Crewe, and I think it would be a really good move for Kian as well. So we will see if that move does get announced anytime soon for him to spend the season on loan in League 2 in the English Football League. Now, moving on, we've also got the very latest on Manchester City goalkeeper Ederson, and he has now confirmed what has been reported by several different sources, including that of Fabrizio Romano, and said that he will be staying at Manchester City. Now, he'd done an interview after the Community Shield match between Manchester City and Manchester United, which Manchester City won the Community Shield, winning on penalties 7-6 against Manchester United after drawing that game 1-1. He said that he has had offers from other clubs, but he's decided that he wants to stay with Manchester City after holding talks with the club, with Pep Guardiola, with his family, with his friends and with his teammates, which is really good to see, and he's decided that his decision is he wants to remain a Manchester City player. He does put a lot of emphasis on his conversation with Pep in being crucial to him deciding to stay at Manchester City, because we did get a couple of weeks ago towards that point where it's either Ederson's going to hand in a transfer request and request to leave Manchester City, and therefore giving a bit of leverage to the Saudi Arabian clubs in trying to negotiate for Ederson, or he decides to stay at Manchester City. And Pep Guardiola even came out in pre-season and said that Ederson needs to decide what he wants to do because he needs to sort his squad out. And Pep has said how important Ederson is to his playing style, how important he is to Manchester City and to himself. He really likes having Ederson here. He wants him to stay and has managed to convince Ederson to stay as well, which I think is fantastic news. There isn't better options out there in the market, and so we've got another big season of Ederson coming up, and Stefan Ortega has said he's going to try and up his game to try and see if he can become the new Manchester City #1. So I said I'd be surprised in this window if we manage to keep hold of all three of our goalkeepers. We've got Scott Carson on a new deal, Ortega on a new deal, and Ederson stays, and potentially he could be put on a new deal as well, which I think is a really good bit of business that City could get sorted in this transfer window. Now, moving on to the final transfer, it all just looks signed, sealed and delivered about Julian Alvarez joining Atletico Madrid, but we've had some very serious developments on this. Now, Julian Alvarez has arrived in Madrid as per last night and will undertake his Atletico Madrid medical today ahead of signing for them for £82 million from Manchester City. However, Fabrizio Romano has said that there are some sticking points in this deal, because this deal is involved in a little domino effect, including that of Samu Omorodion signing for Chelsea, and then that would see Connor Gallagher sign for Atletico Madrid, and it gives Atletico enough space in their squad and with the finances for them also to announce the signing of Julian Alvarez. But it's now been reported by Fabrizio Romano as of this morning that Samu Omorodion's deal to Chelsea has collapsed. That deal right now isn't happening, and that could have serious knock-on effects for Connor Gallagher joining Atletico Madrid from Chelsea, and could have a knock-on effect for Julian Alvarez joining Atletico Madrid from Manchester City. Now, sources close to City have said that they still expect that transfer to go through, and they still expect Julian Alvarez to leave Manchester City to join Atletico Madrid. Now, even if this deal does collapse, Atletico Madrid at some point in this window could come back in for Julian Alvarez once they've sorted out these little teething issues. PSG, we know, are still interested as well. It would be very much tail between his legs should this deal collapse and Julian Alvarez has to come back to Manchester City after publicly letting it be known that he wants to leave the club. I don't see there being any way back really for Julian Alvarez once you've expressed that you do want to leave. You know, it's people might say it's similar to Bernardo Silva, but Bernardo Silva was never this close to leaving Manchester City. Julian Alvarez is 99% now not a Manchester City player, but that 1% is still there, and there are some issues now involving from Atletico Madrid's end that could maybe cause this deal to collapse. But as of right now, we're expecting that transfer still to go through, but it is an ever-developing situation. It is believed that Chelsea and Atletico Madrid are currently working on Joao Felix potentially joining Chelsea instead, and I think this is more having an impact on a player from Atletico going to Chelsea and a player coming from Chelsea over to Atletico in terms of the Connor Gallagher deal. So I'd say that's more in doubt than Julian Alvarez, but things aren't 100% tied up as of yet, and it looks like it was a formality. It looked pretty straightforward, but at the moment it's not quite as straightforward. There is some curves in the road that still need to be ironed out and sorted, and as of right now, I've been filming this video whilst Alvarez is in Madrid. I'm not aware that that medical is taking place right now, but I am expecting that medical to take place at some point today, as long as everything is, as we say over here in England, hunky-dory. So there we go. That has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy this video, do leave a thumbs up. Aiming for 300 likes, so any help towards that would be great. Do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date here on YouTube daily with my Manchester City transfer updates. You don't want to miss a thing. It's going to be a busy end for Manchester City with incomings and outgoings from now until the end of the transfer window at the end of this month, so do subscribe. It is free. And finally, do go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, and I'll see you all religiously tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.